Kia ora from the UK. We are just entering the last day of 2019 here. I know in New Zealand it's just about to finish, you're just about to turn into the new year, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to jump on, do a live. I had been meaning to be a little more communicative during my break. I've actually been sick most of Christmas and New Year. So this is really the first opportunity I've had to kind of touch base, and believe it or not, despite how I look and sound, this is actually me feeling better. So delighted to join you from the UK as you get ready for 2020. You'll see I've swapped my white dog for a black one. This is my mum and dad's dog, Dylan. And I guess a lot of Kiwis have a romantic idea of a Northern Hemisphere Christmas, of snow and carol singing. In reality, it's 6 hours of daylight and most of us get sick. That's kind of what happened for us. But having said that, it's still been an awesome time for me to spend with my family. And hey, look, I haven't been able to hear a lot, smell a lot, taste much. I couldn't taste Christmas dinner, but the fact that I got to sit around the table with my mum, my dad, my partner and family made it for me. So I've kind of still been able to be grateful and find the bits that I have enjoyed over Christmas, despite also being sick pretty much for the last fortnight. And it's interesting because I had said to myself before I left the UK, before I left New Zealand for the UK, I'm going to enjoy this holiday, I'm going to be present with my family, I'm not going to work. And for those of you that love your job, you know that it's a great temptation to want to work even when you're on your holidays, and I do miss not being in my office. But having said that, the temptation has been a lot less because I've just felt so rubbish. And during that time I've also been reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and there's been a huge amount of stuff that's resonated in there that I think fits really nicely around goal setting, particularly as we head into a new year. And a lot of us will be thinking about, hey, what's going to be different for 2020? What are our New Year's resolutions? All of that stuff. So I wanted to share some of that with you today in a bid to leave you with something useful as we see out 2019. Excuse me. So one of the things that I've been reflecting on is when we talk about New Year's resolutions, forming new habits, when we talk about things being different or a new year around the corner, regardless of whether it's a new year, a new week, a new day, we have this opportunity to do things differently, and that boils down to the habits that we form. And I know when I look back over the last 10 years and the habits that I kind of take for granted now because I do them every day, things like meditation, things like yoga, the things I eat, the relationship I have with food, all of that stuff had to start at a point to get where it is now, and it's about forming those habits. And there's certain things that have made those habits easier, and a lot of this stuff resonated when I was reading Atomic Habits over the Christmas break. And obviously removing the temptation of working whilst I've been sick is a great way of forming that habit of not touching my work whilst I've been away. But there's more than that I've noticed. So historically when I come over to the UK, particularly in winter time, I spend a lot of time sitting by the fire with my family. We don't move very much, we eat a lot of delicious food, and I can get into bad habits. I'm normally, back in New Zealand, I'm normally kind of quite fit and active and at the gym. So my partner was with me this time, she's also fit and active, and I've noticed that because I'm surrounding myself with people with that active mindset, I've been more active this trip. We've been going to the gym, and that's one of the tips. Surrounding yourself with people that do the same habits, that are the kind of people you want to be, that have the same habits that you want to have, increases your chances. So does making it easy, or making it difficult if it's a bad habit you're trying to break. So it's the reason Netflix works so well and we binge watch so easily, because it's easier when you've got autoplay on Netflix. It's easier to let it autoplay and see the next episode than it is to actually stop it. And that's why we plan on watching one episode and we end up watching 7. And the easier we make it, the more likely it is we're going to do it. So that works with bad habits. You know, if I'm not going to work on my holiday, being sick makes it a lot more difficult. But also if I put my gym kit in the car, there's more chance that on the way home from work I'm going to stop at the gym. I've made it easier for myself. If I leave my vitamin supplements out on the workbench where I'm going to see them in the morning, it's more likely I'm going to take them each day. So figuring out ways as you head into the new year, what are the habits I want to start forming? What habits do I need to have to be the person I want to be? Whether that's about my health, about my work, about my business, about my family, how I spend my time. How do I make that easier for myself? How do I surround myself with people that want the same kind of habits? For me, mine are about technology, my relationship with technology, and spending less time on social media this year. Certainly some health and fitness goals, they're always in there around what I eat, my relationship with drinks, all of that kind of stuff. But the interesting thing that I've been reflecting on is the power of small changes. So it's something that the Queen mentioned in her speech, and of course you'll know that that's a massive English tradition. We all sat there after our Christmas dinner on Christmas Day and we watched the Queen's speech, and she mentioned that it's often the small changes that have the biggest impact, and that's so true. And as we head into a new year, there's a tendency to want to make massive sweeping changes, and whilst I may not be ready for no beer all year yet, I am ready to make some small changes, and it's always the small changes that lead to the big lasting changes, and they're easier. It's starting the ball rolling, and they're easier to keep us on track as well. So think about the small changes you want to make rather than the big sweeping everything's going to change as of 1st of January, because we know that that's really hard to keep up, and then we beat ourselves up for falling short. And it's something as well that James Clear actually echoed in his book Atomic Habits, around a 1% improvement. If you aim for a 1% improvement in every area, you're going to find that across the board it's probably going to be better and more achievable than if we try and focus in on making one big thing happen and set up those real big, hairy, audacious goals that we may not actually ever be able to achieve. So that's what I thought I'd talk about today, because it seems timely as we head into a new year. I've also got a goal-setting webinar happening on the 9th of January when I get back to New Zealand. So I've got about 3 more days left in the UK. I'll be seeing the new year here with my family tonight. And then I'll be heading back to New Zealand, and I'm looking forward to getting well again, getting back into the summer. Right now, even the Wellington version of summer is looking really attractive, just to get some sun on me and to get well again. So I will pop details of the goal setting webinar. It's a free webinar. It comes with a free ebook as well. So you can register for that, and it's available by replay, so you don't have to be there live. It's on the afternoon. It's a lunchtime on the 9th of January. So I'll pop the link in this live so you can find out more details, register for that, and I'll be sharing some more goal setting tips on that webinar. But for now, I just thought I'd leave you with the power of forming good habits and making it easy so that it's achievable, surrounding yourself with people that want the same habits, that demonstrate the same behaviours. And remembering that it doesn't have to be a new year to begin again. Yes, that tends to be when we set all our habits and targets and goals, but a new day, a new week, whatever it is, we always have a clean slate to begin again. So I'll leave you with that. A happy new year, and I'll see you again in 2020.